Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, to mid-August 2022. It is an amazingly groundbreaking, unpredictable, spontaneous, shocking time to be a human being on the planet. I was recently asked, what are the transits of this year I am most looking forward to? This is it. And yet I hesitate to say such a thing because then people respond, well, this is challenging, this is hard, I'm going through so much intensity. Yes. So let's talk about what and why. Why this period is so exciting to me in particular is we see Uranus conjoin the north node of the moon. This transit only takes place once, roughly every 15 years. Now what this means is that we are taking a dimensional leap into the future. And this can happen in so many different ways, or shapes, or forms. In fact, this period can be downright confusing. The old timelines that are dissolving, the new circumstances that are coming in. It's as if the rug is getting ripped out from under our feet. The point is, Uranus is the future. And the future is weird. It is unknown. It is incongruent with everything we've known or understood before. Now, the other major component of this period is we're talking about the nervous system. We're talking about the body. We're talking about trauma and PTSD. This is a fact of where our species is in the current moment. We are a PTSD species. We are crawling out of the dark ages and trenches of the past. Therefore, the overwhelming experience of incongruency, the going in and out of our body, the experience of electricity, the restlessness, the sleeplessness, this is all an opportunity to map, explore, understand the bits and pieces of our consciousness, how it has formed out of the past, how there has been unfair, overwhelming, oppressive experiences in the long outstanding past that has formed our consciousness, and this is all a part of our exploration. This is a part of the adventure of being a human being. And we've got a lot of things to work out. Where this can be leading us, where this future can be so groundbreaking, is we are funneling our consciousness into our body. We are funneling our consciousness into a new timeline, and we are the potter that gets to mold this container of our bodies, our home, our relationship to the earth. So to anchor what is really a divine power, divine inspiration, to feel truly alive, and to anchor that reality to the earth like a lightning rod directs electricity into the earth. We are this lightning rod at this time. But absolutely groundbreaking, exciting, and what can also be very electrical feeling of restlessness. This is Mars joining Uranus on the moon's north node at the very start of August. Now yesterday, which would have been the 7th, Mars squared Saturn. So we're going to talk about, with this full moon in Aquarius, the dichotomy between Uranus and Saturn and this tremendous tension, frustration, which is really a creative tension to use. This is like an energy we can harness. I speak to using tension in these videos. It's not about avoiding tension, it's about using it. And this is what pioneers, this is what creative souls do. Do pioneers and creative souls oftentimes feel totally content in the world and the society they're born into? Hardly. The stuck between a rock and a hard place feeling or experience is a jet fuel to ignite, to use, where we can feel a gravity, a tightness, a being stuck. This is the necessary kinetic energy in a slingshot to release what can break through, what can penetrate and liberate, like breaking through a wall. Jeffrey Green talks about Aquarius and Uranus as being like a grenade in a steel box. This is about breaking the box of the known, of the rules, of the consensus and of the past. We are not living in the same world that our mothers and fathers taught us we are. This is an opportunity to rebel. This is an opportunity to be a renegade. This is an opportunity not to accept or believe or conform, but challenge the norm, challenge the consensus, test those rules, and in so testing, see what is real, what is unreal, what is a mirage, what is a superstition, from what are the actual parts and pieces that we are working with to become empowered as a human being. So this is where we are as a species. We're coming out of Pisces age. And what you may not know about the ages is that they really affect the entire cross of whatever sign the age is on. So we're coming out of the Pisces age, which is the mutable cross. Has so much to do with nature, laws of the universe, understanding of things. But in Pisces age, there is tremendous sacrifice, loss of the understanding of nature, needing to believe, needing to sacrifice ourselves and give away our power to a higher power, surrender to a higher power, and then we'll be taken care of, we'll be carried. And this has led to many, many distortions in our human consciousness. Our programming is this giveaway of power. And then we're controlled by the priestly class. We're controlled by hierarchies. As we're entering the Aquarian age, we're talking about the fixed cross. And the fixed cross has to do with the power instilled in being alive. And especially the creative, destructive, innovative potential, which is particularly bestowed to mankind. We have this creative, innovative potential to do good or ill with. That's the Aquarian age we're entering. It's the recognition that we have this power. We have this innovative potential to change the course of our direction. But we are learning to embrace our capability to reinvent, to create something new, and step out of these delusions or these giveaways of power, or where we've conformed to society, man-made laws, man-made prescriptions. This is the time to rocket through. So Mars joined Uranus again at the start of this month. Very exciting. New possibilities, sudden changes, and as I have been mentioning, when we're talking about Mars, when we're talking about Uranus and Taurus, this is about sovereignty, freedom, having the necessary space and time to be our individual self. And you know what? This is going to get reflected through a lot of different people's experiences in a lot of different ways. But this is going to be a collective experience. I need this space and time for myself to understand what I need. Because everyone's got a different biological rhythm. Everyone's got a different ticking clock and different needs. So this overwhelming direction towards autonomy is to self-discover who we are as a unique consciousness. And guess what? This is new. In Pisces age, we're all supposed to be the same. We're all supposed to pray to the same God. And women are this way, and men are this way. And guess what? When we're entering the Aquarius age, all of these defaults are getting blown clear out of the water. Aquarius age is every human being is as unique as our own universe. The laws of the universe is different for every person. Every person has different potentials, different opportunities, different gifts. We're not doing the same things. And folks, I got to be honest, we're not all on the same team. We're not all on the same wavelength. This is about discovering what you are, what you value, what you got inside of you, what you value, what you love, what fills you up, as there is an opportunity to tune more into those resources. It's like we're changing the wiring, not only in our body and our nervous system, but where we're receiving fundamental nourishment, nurturance, upliftment, even food, money, energy systems. It's all going through this tremendous reinvention. But the reason why I'm excited about this period, despite the restlessness, the unpredictability, the not even knowing what's going to happen the next day, is this is about introducing a new dimensional reality. If we can break down these limiting molds and containers, we're going to discover that there's more options than we've been led to believe. That's something I would recommend we all hold on to at this time. It's not as much going to be an either or as we've been misled to believe in the past. There's going to be opportunity for all possibilities and to bridge all of these different facets together in a holistic whole, although that may be much more complex than what we are used to. I'll give you an example. As we're entering the Aquarian age, our spiritual beliefs as a species are changing and evolving. In Pisces age, there was this notion that to be a good person means to be selfless. And what I'm going to be sharing today is some more of the fixed sign, we could say Venusian wisdom, which is there is no discrepancy between our selfishness, which I'm going to redefine. So there's an old word for selfish. I'm telling you the new definition for selfish is that we can have an orientation that is concerned and taking care of ourself and what feels good to us, what's pleasurable, enjoyable to us alone. Doesn't have to be pleasurable, enjoyable for them. It makes us feel good. We can be selfish and compassionate souls. We can get ours and contribute back to the world simultaneously. But this is not a traditional spiritual belief. Hence, I'm highlighting this as a new possibility for many of us. North Node's in Taurus. This is about being selfish. This is about recognizing our personal, immediate, biological needs, even when they may seem totally trivial. Well, what may seem totally trivial may not be totally trivial. What may seem like small stuff to another person may be a very big deal in our own universe, in our own body, wiring, nervous system, and reality. This is the time to honor our inner reality. When we can fill ourselves up from the inside out without depending on or requiring anything on the outside, well, we can do a whole lot more for others on the outside. This is Venus wisdom. This is about getting in contact with our own inner flame, truth, and illumination. And when we have that in ourselves, we're good. We're learning how much stronger we are on our own. We're learning about our discernment. We're learning about boundaries. We're learning about what's ours versus what's theirs. Big theme for 2022 and 2023, because guess what? It's not all yours. It's not all yours. There's going to be shit out there that is not good for you. There's going to be things that work really well for other people that will not work for you. Another person's garbage is your gold. Another person's poison is your medicine, but it is poison for you. We have to discern what's healthy for our own system, and we're all learning these years how to be an air filtration system. To purge, to move, to discern other people's bullcrap from ours. Those are your ulterior motives. Those are your power issues. Those are your unrecognized, avoided childhood PTSD issues. And if we're not on the same page, if we're not doing the same work, there's no reason to give away your power, energy, be endlessly drained, taken for granted, thrown under the bus, which is what I witness happening to some of the most compassionate, caring, spiritual, feminine souls on the planet. But that's why we're going through a spiritual turning point. We're changing our belief systems. And it's not selfish anymore to be putting yourself first. You will give more back to others without even having to try, in breaking some of these old rules and allowing ourselves to be totally nourished, nurtured, and uplifted from the inside out. This is a very exciting and groundbreaking time, and yet I keep mentioning this isn't like the heavens are raining down, chocolates and, confections to us either. This is a very bumpy time. It's like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, heaven, hell, back and forth, and this is good. This is the mechanism for growth. This is what we want to be going through at this time. Now, Mars squared Saturn yesterday. So again, a lot of this can also be playing out in our bodies nervous system, sexuality, energy, libido. This is about coming more alive. And our sexuality, our creative center, it's a huge component of what inspires us, keeps us alive, keeps us charged, keeps that inner flame well fed, well fanned. So that's the endeavor. But Mars square Saturn, this can also be evoked through a health crisis, through health challenges, through being stuck, through being limited, through a lack of freedom, a lack of autonomy, and then the necessary frustration or experience of lack may very well be the necessary gravity on that slingshot until that tension can no longer hold and something's got to change and something snaps, and then a rocket ship penetrating, breaking through. We need to harness this. This is a full moon conjoined Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. This is the rebel. This is renegade. This is like iconoclasm. Like, no, I no longer believe in those old gods. In fact, I've defaced them. I've drawn mustaches on them. We're now laughing at them. It was humorous. You know, this can be liberation. This can be transformation. But let's be very straightforward here. This is going to require us to do the necessary work to step out of a dead society. This is what Saturn retrograde is about. You know, Saturn has the reputation of being all about society, structure, and rules. Not Saturn retrograde, and not Saturn in Aquarius. Okay. This kind of Saturn is more reflected in the Roman celebration of Saturnalia. And on Saturnalia, you actually turned all the rules on their head. Men dressed as women, women dressed as men. Masters served their slaves. Orgies took place in the street. All the rules were broken as a commemoration and celebration of this facet of Saturn. So Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, this is iconoclasm, this is rebellion, this is rule breaking. And you know what it's got a feeling of? PU, this sucks. Where the fuck are we as a species? Have you looked at our society in this day and age? What is the issue here? We have all this technology, all of these resources, and then where are the humans and what are they doing and how are they spending their time? It is absolutely pathetic. It is pitiful. And I don't mean to say that to like put anybody down. This is the collective realization. It's like, oh my God, something has to change. This is not working. We live in a medieval era where we're posing as being super advanced. We have all this technology, and then we're living in the dark age at the same time. Folks, this is the real world. This is the day and age in which we live. I was born and raised in America. We have these ridiculous cultural belief systems that we're so advanced and, you know, we're ahead of the game and you should be proud because we have all these opportunities that other people don't have. And it's just like, really? We're stuck in the medieval era. We're working for the man and we're poor and we have no health systems and no money. It's absolute insanity. It's barbaric. That's the point. We actually have to change the system. The system is not going to change itself. And the way that we change the system has to be smart. I'm not one of those absolute anarchists, rip off my clothes, light everything on fire, chaos is the way into the future. That does not work. Like, look at the whole Capitol building thing that happened in the United States. It's like, you know, we do have to work with the system and we have to break it at the same time. It's not an either or. It's complicated. We cannot throw the baby out with the bath water, but there's a lot of bath water to throw out. There's a lot of stuff to sort through. And that's what's so powerful about this period. Not only is it Mars-Uranus on the north node, not only is it a full moon with Saturn square the nodes, the rulers of the node, Venus ruling the north node in Taurus, Pluto ruling the south node in Scorpio. This next several days, we see Venus opposite to Pluto. on August 9th. So the rulers of the moon's nodes are opposite one another. Long story short, this is going to bring up a powerful dynamic where we're needing to look at, again, what we love, what we value, our relationships in particular, how we're sharing and connecting with others, how we're earning our money, how we're exchanging energy. Venus is the principle of reciprocation. Resonance, vibration, harmony, equality. These are all Venus's realm, world, words. And that's where we're going through a turning point, a catalyst. And it's likely through our interactions. It's likely through our relationship that there is a mirror being held up to our own underworld, to these deep feelings and what may be deep insecurities, fears, apprehensions. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't have enough money. They won't like me. Versus the reality that we've got something that's powerful. We're holding on to a treasure and a gem that's uniquely ours. We cannot buckle or conform to the scrutiny of the group. This is about doing the work to create the community that is supportive, that is on the same wavelength as ourself. And what I'm letting y'all know is we are not all on the same wavelength. We're not all doing the same things. Just because we're in the new age does not mean we're all talking about or doing the same things. This energy, this powerful time is not because today is August 8th. There's a lot more going on deeply beneath the surface. There's a lot of pieces to work out. But Venus opposite to Pluto, what this illuminates, what this really brings to light is magnetism. We are all electromagnetic beings, and we're experiencing these magnets between one another, and that is through a dynamic of attraction or repulsion or likely both. And we move the magnet a little bit this way, and now it's sending out attracting magnetism. We move the magnet a little bit this way. Oh, now we're repulsing everybody. And we're exploring these magnets, and we're learning about ourselves, and we're learning about the other, and we're learning about where we connect, where we don't connect, where we send these impressions, where we have these powers. And this is about recognizing our powers. This is again about recognizing the treasure that we're already seated upon. And this is the power of Venus. The power of Venus is to change reality. Venus is truly the planet of humanity. This is really to do with the fixed signs. The fixed signs is the cross of humanity. Aquarius is the divine fire Prometheus steals from heaven. This innovative ray that challenges Zeus, the laws of the universe, challenges the consensus. I think there's more. I think more that is possible. I think there's a little more going on beneath the surface. I think that things are not always as they appear. Absolutely. And here's the bottom line. If there is a bottom line, what is absolutely required to go through this passageway, to go through the underworld, and come forth on the other side, reborn, regenerated, renewed. We must have safety. We must have support. True support. Because what I'm going to let you know is that there's a hell of a lot of fake support and superficial people and saying one thing and doing another. And this Venus-Pluto opposition, we're going to feel that. We're going to sense that in the magnetism. It's like the unconscious has a little doorway that's opening and we're leaking out what we really are, how we really feel, those true desires, those true passions. And you know what? This is what makes all the difference in the world. Are we dealing with honest humans? You're only going to get safety and support from honest human beings. And I'm going to tell you who an honest human being is. An honest human being is a human that's self-aware of the truth of Venus, which is the human heart. Venus is the truth of paradox. The reality of being a human, the reality of having a human heart is that we are good and evil. We've all got light and a shady side. And the folks that you will be safe and supported around are those that are truly honest with their nature. They're transparent. They're not posing. They're not pretending. They're not doing the whole New Age dress up and sound like this. And that's fake Venus. And I see a lot of bullshit Venus out there in the world, throwing a party, hyper-masculinity, dressing up and posing as femininity, forcibly overriding the moon, the tides, the seasons, and nature, with fake overexcitement, with commands and demands, Kundalini yoga pounding on the door of God. Let me in! I'm God! I'm God! I have powers! But on the surface, Venus, games and beauty and love and it's not Venus. Anyone who's a devotee of Venus, I recommend you get into the ancients. The ancients knew about Venus. We forgot about Venus post-Taurus age. The Egyptians knew Venus. The Mayans knew Venus. The Sumerians certainly knew Venus. And the ancient fixed cross. Not just heaven. Heaven and hell. Good and evil. That's the nature of a human being. A self-aware human being has got the full range. Heaven and hell. Good and evil. These are the honest humans that you can trust. Truth is, Venus is not only pleasant, helpful, light and fluffy things. She's disease. She's torture. The full range of what can be experienced on the senses, from pleasure to pain, from a comfortable blanket to being put over a fire. All the full range of what can be felt in the senses, in the body, from heaven to hell, that's Venus. Now, we're using the body, the senses, and the nervous system to traverse all such dimensions. And this is how we're healing from collective PTSD as a species. So again, this is going to be a period that's going to highlight where each and every one of us has a highly unique coping mechanism coming from our past childhood traumas. If we don't know about our childhood traumas, we should know that that's where we are in our healing journey. We're going to learn about what those past traumas were. I have not met a single soul that has gotten out of the patriarchal dark age without a soul level trauma. This is where we are as a species. This is what we're healing, and this is why we're so damn in and out of body at this time. Those of us doing the healing work, we're recognizing when we're in body, when we're out of body, what are the triggers that push us out of body, what are the triggers that bring us into the body, and it's complex. All of this dissociation is a protective agency in consciousness. When we're having a traumatic experience, that means that our nervous system is being overwhelmed by something that is too much for our body to hold or process. So the disembodied dissociation is a protection. You know, we go off into the clouds. We go somewhere happier and comfier when we're in the torture chamber. But then we're reborn, and we got all the healing to do, and that's a returning to our body. And as we're returning to our body, we feel the terror, the horror, the pain that was taking place when we were out of body. This is the journey of healing for each and every one of us. It is a divine weaving, upper world, underworld, out of body, in the body. This is healing, trauma, all the different types of therapy. It requires this type of weaving, stitching. We need to be out of body sometimes when it's too much. If somebody's overwhelmed, their family just died, they're having to move countries, they've got no support. They're not, it's like, it's okay. Watch TV, keep yourself distracted until you're in a safe space. Then, once we're in a safe space, All that we've just survived funnels back to us. Have you not noticed this process where, we've been overwhelmed and then we finally can relax and settle down, and that's when everything hits us? That's when we have a panic attack? Seems kind of weird, seems kind of unfair almost, doesn't it? Well, it's actually this necessary mechanism of healing, which is the Scorpio-Taurus polarity. That's why we're riding this seesaw back and forth. Scorpio is when there's so much transformation, intense experiences, overwhelming, the emotions, the underworld, the ulterior motivations, the messiness, who is who, what is what, what's good and what's not, what's mine and what's theirs, being infected, being overwhelmed. It's a rapey type of world, Shadow Scorpio. And then we have to pull ourselves out of that frying pan, North Node Taurus. Get to high ground. Get your feet on the earth. Get yourself a smoothie, sit by the ocean, and just breathe, because we need to integrate from all that intensity, from all that transformation, from all that overwhelm. And that's when we feel. That's when we remember. That's when we discern us from them. The true underlying feelings and the true needs. This is what I needed at the time. This is what was seen or not seen at the time. And this brings us back online with what are going to be, what may be overwhelmingly simple, mundane, or even silly seeming needs. But they have to do with our body, our nervous system, and our unique makeup. And these intense furnace-like experiences is to give us that slingshot into the high ground. We can connect to the others, those who meet us on our wavelength, those who have a similar definition of love, beauty, and support that we do. We show up and we support each other, and we feel really good in being ourselves and doing it our own way. That's hitting the nail on the head at this particular time. So folks, it's restless, it's a little bitchy. Saturn joined the full moon in Aquarius. I'm posting really sarcastic, humorous things about Lionsgate because the point is it's not aligned with nature. So this masculine overriding nature, using the Julian calendar, using digits, and then, having all these experiences, I like to poke fun at this. But anyways, that's the type of full moon it is. It's sarcastic, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's kind of poking, it's like Dada. It's breaking the rules, it's challenging society. One of my favorite moons in Aquarius is Timothy Leary, my fellow Timothy, one of my early muses and inspirations. I'm not sure there would be a Timothy Halloran in the way I am if there was not a Timothy Leary who came before. And boy was he ahead of his time, and boy was he breaking the rules, and boy was he introducing innovative technology that was very challenging the consensus, and unfortunately went a little crazy at the end of his life, but that was due to the fact that he was so demonized by the entire world, by the entire population. That's the experience of being a pioneer. That's the experience of being ahead of the game. And this is a time where we can self-initiate into this recognition. No, I'm not meant to be doing it the same as everyone else. No, I don't need to hold my head down in the sand and bury it just the way all the rest of my family and the rest of my culture and society is doing. Stick out like a sore thumb. Hold up your protest side. Flick the bird to the rest of the world. Good for you. This is how we honor God. This is how we honor spirituality. This is how we redeem Venus as being the guardian angel of humanity. Venus has the power to take us down into a dark age and the power to take us back out into something that is beautiful, into something that is heavenly. And what I'm going to share with you is that we've demonized a hell of a lot more. We've demonized a hell of a lot more of the whole of nature. And we've taken the feminine and we've slandered it. And we've said all that really challenging, all that really dark, all that really complex stuff, ew, gross, yucky, and we've damned ourselves as a result. So you know what? Get messy. You know what? Get challenging. Be like a cat with your hair standing on end, Defend what you need to defend. Mars, Uranus on the North Node. Be a warrior. Protect what you need to protect. Stand up on your soapbox. Fight the good fight. I'm excited for you. I'm rooting for you. Saturn square the nodes is also the necessary building of community. We have to build the necessary humanitarian endeavor, grassroots uprising. Now's the time. It's what it's all about. Folks, for those who are on a similar wavelength page as me, I want to meet you in my community. I've created this structure while Saturn was in Aquarius for this endeavor. It's an opportunity to show and tell. Community is really interesting. You get the full spectrum, good, bad, the best, the worst. Community changes. It goes through different seasons. It's amazing. It's really not at different points in time. I love it. I love being able to share in this experience, to learn and grow through the reflections. It's very humbling. It's very encouraging. But anyways, I'm connecting with other geniuses, pioneers, astrologers, like minds through my community. Y'all have a lot more to share than just the astrology. And it's an opportunity to connect with like minds. This full moon can bring up the experience of isolation, loneliness. I'm not on the same wavelength as others. Well, the intention behind my community was to create a meeting point. If you're feeling this way, if you want to connect with others, if you got something new, exciting that you want to share, there's a number of new meetings that will be an opportunity to connect and share. Musical. There's a Jeffrey Green Pluto study group. I offer my once a month Q&A, and there's going to be a lot more as we're pushing the edges, discovering the other geniuses, coming out of the woodwork. This takes courage. Courage. That's Mars on the North Node. It takes courage to be a genius. It takes confidence to go against the grain. But that's how you're going to liberate yourself, and that's how you're also going to discover the others. Then you won't be so alone and isolated. There's going to be really empowering souls out there to discover once you're doing your own thing first. This is about sovereignty, liberation, the power of the individual to take care of everything we need first. Then we can be a fountainhead and spill over into one another, and then things get really exciting, collaborative, mutually inspiring. So thank you very much for those who listened all the way to the end. Thanks for taking all of this in. I look forward to connecting, sharing. I'll leave off on this piece. Aquarius age, we're all getting interconnected. So the internet, how you're seeing, perceiving, and connecting with me, this is new, this is exciting. But for some of us, we're also learning how to be interconnected in very profound, behind the scenes, underneath the material, not just using material technology. This is about being interconnected in profound, psychic, mind-blowing ways. We get to discover and have these types of breakthroughs as well. So on that note, I will leave you for now. I look forward to connecting and sharing with you next time. As always, do take care.